Hey folks, another quick video from Daddy Rabbit. The reason I'm even doing this video, I was in Knoxville today, and I was sitting. Actually, I went to a new barber shop, and I hope my barber doesn't watch this video. I don't want him to get mad, but I went to a new place, and sitting around in a crowd of people that I don't know from Adam, and somebody made a political comment. I was talking to the guy beside of me, and he used to be a state officer in another state, flew their helicopter. Cool. And this gentleman, he's in aviation parts now. And I'm not sure what he does, but he's making a good living. And we were talking, and we were talking about all the stuff going on, and all the BS, the chick that's running for president, and so on and so forth. And I don't know this guy from Adam. I don't know if I've ever seen him before. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like sitting around a group of guys I know. And the room, if there was somebody on the other political side, they didn't speak up, which they could have, I guess. I mean, I don't care. But I was asking people, what do you do for a living? What do you do? Just kind of trying to feel out who I'm sitting there with. And I got just a wide range of people. There was a guy, he was some kind of lineman, power lines, the aviation guy. Sorry about that. It's time for me to get a new holder. What else? Some dude that worked in some type of bakery. Some couple guys that worked in offices, some blue collar dudes, just average, run of the mill, average people. And they all turned around and started looking at one another, and they all basically said the same thing. I'm watching the political climate. It's not like everybody's waiting to see who's going to do what first. Everybody's already pretty much said what they're going to do, how they're going to act. Everybody knows this time around. I doubt there'll be a hope. Let me get on a decent road now. There we go. Nobody said anything blatant about violence. None of that. There was stuff said, but nothing just blatant. And but the consensus around the room, I'd say probably, because I asked everybody, I said, well, how old are you and how old are you? Because, depending on somebody's age, it'll be depending on the conversation you get. So I think the youngest guy in there was 43, and to about 67, 68. And everybody pretty much said the same exact thing as I usually say, and in one way or another. And but they all pretty much said, I've had a good life. I want my grandkids to grow up a certain way, and my great grandkids, their kids, and everybody pretty much just said, well, come November, we'll know where we stand. And this dude, I guess he's about 50. He said, I know what I'm willing to do. Another guy in the room said, well, I know how. He said, what'd they say? I know what I'm willing to do. And a couple of them said, I know how far I'm willing to go. And everybody pretty much said, all the way. And if you don't know what that means, I can't help you, because if I say it, I'll get canceled. But people are done. They're done. I heard some discussion about electric cars, how nobody's going to buy them. I'm not buying one. I'm not. I refuse. I will not buy an electric vehicle. Mainly because they're telling me I have to. And ain't nobody gonna tell me I have to do shit. You know? I ain't playing that. And a lot of the people got talking about, well, the younger generation, you know, people 30s, 20s, so forth, they'll do as they're told. You know, but the older you get, the less you give a shit, you know? I'm sorry, but I'm in a county right now. If they catch me doing this, they'd probably hang me from a tree by my toes. So, no lie. But even, and he got a little hateful there for a minute, but even with that, everybody pretty much was on the same page. You know, and let's see, I want prayer for. It's going, brother. How are you? Everybody, and nobody was ugly, really. But, you know, there's a lot of that, by God, you know, if you're from the South, you know what I'm talking about. Well, by God, I'm not doing it. If they think I am, you know, but nothing real out there. But there was an old guy that was retired. He was retired military. He was in the Navy. Everybody had a pretty normal job, you know, and everybody said, no, we ain't doing this again. We're not doing 4 more years. You know, they're going to wait till November, and we all know how that's, you know, anybody with any common sense knows who's going to win the election. It'll be a landslide. And if he don't win, folks are going to lose their minds this time around. I believe there'll be bloodshed. I really do. Without a doubt. And there's going to be a lot of it. And that might be what the opposing team wants. I think a lot of times you think you want something, you know, and you want it real bad until you get it, and then you decide, man, I really don't want this. And the sad part of it is when that happens, there'll be no do-overs. You know, well, we thought we wanted this. Well, when they start getting it, they're going to get it till everybody's done giving it, you know? And it's going to be it'll be a sad time in our country's history. But without a doubt, I believe these folks are going to get what they think they want. And I've talked to, I'd say 40 or 50 law enforcement officials. I'll put it that way. That way I don't have to say where they work or their city or county. And they've all said the same exact thing. If this shit pops off, they're going to the house. And then, you know, they all said, well, you know, I'm sorry for the people that are going to suffer, but I've got a family too. And they're not going to participate. They'll just all get the blue flu and go home. And you can't blame them. Firemen have told me that. EMTs have said that. I even heard I know a couple of doctors, and I even asked them, I said, what are you going to do? They said, we're going to go home. We're going to take care of our people. So, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a skeleton crew of somebody somewhere. But probably nobody you'd want touching you, you know. But I truly believe if it doesn't go the way we think it ought to, there'll be bloodshed. And the sad part, I think, is once it starts, it might start off slow, but once it starts, it'll be kind of like fireworks. And what I mean by that is it'll start off slow, but as time goes, it'll pick up the pace. Till finally, you know, it'll look like Afghanistan here, or Iraq. People will start, you know, they'll all kind of, you know, the mob mentality thing. And it'll just be what it is. And for the people that, you know, that want to ride the pine, they want to stand in the middle, I don't think they're going to get a choice this time. if you're in the middle, it's the same as being on the other side. And I believe a lot of people will see harm come to them if they're not careful. I hope it doesn't come to that. I really do. But you think about this. Let's back up to when everybody was getting the jab and everybody was getting sick. The hospitals were overrun. Now you think about civil unrest. Hospitals can't handle that. We will be a third world country fairly quickly. And even Ding Dong that's in office says, you can't fight an Abrams tank or an F-16. Well, first off, you're not going to find a whole lot of military willing to go against their own people. It's not going to happen. And even if they do, they got to land it or get out of it at some point. And then that'll be the end of it. Especially, the aircraft, they can fly hundreds of miles and sit down. If you're in an Abrams tank and you need to go take a wee, when you park that thing and crack that hatch, somebody's going to pop that grate. Just saying. Just my opinion. Just a theory. But people don't seem to understand. And people are just fed up with it. Sorry, you're just got to be in the dark. I can't do anything about it. You got to look at it like this. All right, I'll use Knoxville for example, because I used to live there. Best I've heard, I think there's 550 or 600,000 people that live in Knox County. There's 450 city police officers if they all show up, if they're all hired. About the same with the county police department and what little bit of highway patrol there is. So you're looking at 900, maybe 950 police officers for 500,000 people. You think about that. 1 in 500. Oh my Lord. You guys ain't going to work. The police don't have the best reputation right now, no matter where you live. And you think they're going to roll up and down the streets when people know what's going on? Lord, no, they're not. Everybody said, well, they'll call it the military. They might. And there might be some show up, sure. And that'll be the end of it. So, you take that military and take it right off the table. But like I say, I'm sitting in a room full of men, and I say, hey, what do you think's going to happen in November? What are you willing to do? And buddy, I can't say a lot of the stuff that I heard today because of the algorithm, but I can tell you, they're scary times, and people are to the point where they do not care any longer. And they're saying it out loud. They could care less. The biggest gun salesmen in the history of America are Democrats. Every time they act a fool, gun sales just skyrocket. Ammunition skyrockets. I know some people personally that's never owned a firearm that definitely own some firearms now, and it blows my mind. And they own high dollar, high end pew-pews. They might not know how to use it like some people, but it'll put a big old hole in you. That's scary. It's everybody's right to own a pew-pew. I think everybody should own a couple, 3 or 12. But you should know how to use them. You should be well trained, unless you're just going to stick it in a safe or something, then whatever. Man, people are gearing up for war, and I don't give a shit if they declare martial law. The only way laws work is if the people participate in them, if they agree with them. let's say there's 20 million Americans come November that don't give a shit no more and are willing to throw down. Martial law will mean nothing. You can talk about bringing out the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, Space Force. If you add all those people together, plus all the law enforcement, all first responders, it's still not enough to stop the American population. And if you bring peacekeepers, per the Constitution, that's an act of war. You put a foreign military puts boots on the ground, it's an act of war, even if they're peacekeepers. So folks, I hope all of you have got your shit squared away. Best case scenario, well, it'd be horrible for us, but best case scenario, November comes and goes, and everybody's just disgruntled and go home pissing on. That'd be the best case. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't belong to a militia. I don't see anything wrong with it. If you belong to a militia, hell yeah. I personally do not. You've got all these groups that are chomping at the bit to get it on. And come November, we're going to find out who walks the walk and who talks the talk. But like I say, I was sitting in a room full of fairly educated men today. And I sat back and did a lot of listening. A lot. I asked some questions, but I listened. And I'm just talking about the average guys. And they're talking about, this is going to be the next shot heard around the world. Things have to change one way or the other. No participation trophies for this one. And I just sat there and listened. And for you people that have not prepared, oh well. And I've heard people say, well, God's going to come back and say, he ain't coming back tomorrow. You don't know when he's coming back. I don't know. You don't know. There could be a lot of suffering between now and the day he comes back. But also, I think God has given us an opportunity to correct what is wrong. And if we don't do anything, do I think he'll come back? Yeah, I sure do. But he's given us an opportunity to fix a lot of this. And unfortunately, just like a lot of countries, and we are lazy, people tend to sit on their ass and talk shit and do nothing. And then they wonder why they don't have any rights, because they don't fight. Now, I don't agree with the other political side. I don't care for the other political side. But at least the other side is willing to fight. They're willing to throw down for their communist beliefs while we sit around and talk trash and do nothing. And the only people you can blame is the Conservative Party. And that's just how I see it. Now, that's only my opinion. Like I say all the time, my opinion is worth about 2 cents. It's worth no more than yours, as yours is worth more than mine. But you cannot sit on your ass and expect people to do the right thing if you're not willing to fight. Everybody is a bully. Everybody. Everybody wants what they want, regardless. And if you're not willing to fight for what you believe in, then all you sheep will get loaded into cattle cars and done away with. And that's plain and simple. If you don't like it, I don't care. But that's what I see coming. And y'all know I don't do doom and gloom. Occasionally I'll get on and talk about something, and then I'll let it go. But like I say, when I'm sitting in a room full of men within 25 to 30 years of each other, and it was a wide range, and they're all saying the same thing, maybe not in the same exact way, but they're all talking the same way. Literally, okay, I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy, two guys in there, you know, with their dress pants on and their ties, and you know, hold on now. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh Lordy. One of them was in the banking industry somehow. One guy, he worked for a church or something. I'm not for sure. Like I say, a wide range of men, and they're talking all the same way. That's impressive. It really is. And before, I don't know if that's the popo behind me or not. I don't know. I don't like his headlights. But you just have to sit back and really listen to everybody about what they're saying, and try to read their body language and see if they're just blowhards or if they're serious or whatever. But I'm pretty convinced that everybody pretty much was spot on with what they were saying. And it was kind of scary. It really was. And but by the same token, it was kind of exciting because it seems like more and more people are kind of falling in together with each other, and which is a good thing, because before, a lot of wishy-washy people, you know, and I personally don't care for wishy-washy. He was not the police. I turned in here for nothing. I wasn't breaking the law. I just don't like nobody likes having the police behind them. I know police officers don't like having police behind them. But, yeah. So he's done got down the road. I'm going to pull out. But no, and please leave your opinion. Tell me what you think. I'm going to tell you something. You know, the guys that did the Constitution, Ben Franklin and all those guys, they gave their lives. They gave their fortunes. They gave up all kinds of stuff. Like the 45th, it's cost him millions and millions and millions of dollars to be the President of the United States. And he does not complain. He just goes right along with it, and he accepted it. Where, you know, we've had a lot of politicians go into office that were poor to begin with, and they leave office multi-million. And to me, I mean, you know, money's money. Even if you got $1 billion and somebody's paying you, I don't know, let's say $1 million a year, that's $1 million a year you didn't have, and that man didn't take it. So I think everybody pretty much knows my political views. I mean, I really don't make any bones about it, but I believe what I believe, and that's just the way it is. But I'm ready for November. I've made my peace, and it'll just be what it is one way or the other. But I'll tell you, the funny part is, for me, is hearing all these different types of people feel the exact same way I do. And then I keep my mouth shut. In the back of my mind, I think I would have no idea that person felt that way. And that's pretty weird. Well, it's kind of funny in a way, you know, because you think you got somebody pegged, and they, you know, drop the bomb, which is pretty cool, you know. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here and do this quick vid and give y'all something to think about over the weekend. So, my new job, my days off are Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, I'm working third shift. So, I guess if I'm going to put out content of any kind, it'll be on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Anyway, folks, more videos coming soon. God willing, and the creek don't rise. That is my 2 cents. Please, please, please remember, your glass is always half full and never half empty. Hey, y'all keep praying for me, and I'm going to keep praying for you all. Hope everybody has a blessed weekend and stay safe. I love y'all. Bye-bye.